Hi everyone, today I'm going to read a story. The title of this story is Tom Sawyer Paint the Fence. Tom Sawyer dropped his bucket of white paint on the ground with a sigh. He looked down the length of the fence. It seemed to go on forever. It was going to take all day to paint. All the other boys and girls were running down to the lake or over to the park. Tom wished he could go with his friends, but Aunt Polly had told him to paint the fence. If he didn't, he'd be in a heap of trouble. Just as Tom was about to start painting, his friend Jim came by. "Jim," Tom called, "why don't you come and help me paint this fence?" "What will you give me if I do?" Jim asked. Tom reached into his pocket. It was empty. Jim laughed and shook his head no. He walked away, leaving Tom alone with his bucket and paintbrush. Tom turned back to the fence as another friend came down the street. Ben made noise like a steamboat. He pretended to drive a boat up to Tom. He whistled loudly and steered the imaginary wheel. "I plan to go for a nice, cool swim," Ben said. "I bet you wish you could come too." Ben took his apple from his pocket and shined it on his jacket. "It's too bad you have all this work to do." Suddenly, Tom had an idea. He smiled wide and said, "Work? What do you mean?" "I don't have any work to do." "Oh, come on now," Ben said. "You can't tell me that you want to paint a fence all day." "Why shouldn't I want to?" Tom said. "How often do I have a chance to paint a fence?" "Not every day, that's for sure." Tom wiped the line of white paint down the fence. He stepped back and examined his work. Ben frowned as he watched. He finally said, "Hey, do you think I could have a try?" Tom shook his head. "Oh no, that wouldn't do at all. And Polly wants this done right. I'm not sure you could handle it." "Come on, give me a chance," Ben said. Then he looked down at the fruit in his hand. "I'll give you half of this apple if you let me." "Sorry, but no," Tom says, shaking his head. Ben pouted. "I'll give you the whole apple." "Well, I guess that will be all right," Tom said. He handed the brush to Ben. Then Tom sat under a shady tree to eat his apple. Ben started painting the fence. An hour later, a chunk of fence was bright white with a new coat of paint. Tom smiled. It was then that Polly stopped at the fence, carrying her blue kite. "What are you guys doing?" she asked. "Tom, let me paint some of this fence," Ben said. "It's really fun." "Can I do some painting too?" Sally pleaded. "Oh, I don't know. Tom said. "After all, Ben gave me an apple before I let him try. I'll give you my kite if I can have a go," Sally said. She handed the kite to Tom. Soon all the kids in the neighborhood were lining up to paint the fence. They gave Tom a sack of new marbles, a toy soldiers, some tadpoles, and a dog whistle. By the end of the day, the fence had 3 coats of fresh white paint, and Polly was quite pleased, and so was Tom Sawyer. The end. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.